No. When he said, I was like, oh my God.
Good Lord, you won't believe this. Not Orlando Brown out here reenacting the alleged sounds Diddy and Meek Mill were supposedly making while having a good time. Girl, I'm not even gonna lie. He had people cracking up because the whole thing came off wild and over the top. I literally couldn't stop laughing at how far he took it. But anyway, listen to this. Orlando Brown is allegedly doubling down on those same claims. He's still insisting that Meek Mill was tied in to what he described as Diddy's inner circle, which he even labeled as infected. And hold up, it gets messier. He went as far as claiming that Meek Mill's past relationship with Nicki Minaj somehow led to her being affected just by association.
When you saw this lawsuit that made it seem as if perhaps Diddy and Meek Mill had...
Why would they not have sex when they're gay rappers?
Do you think Meek Mill's gay?
We all know he's gay.
And baby, listen to this. He's still standing on it, claiming that whatever infection Meek Mill allegedly passed to Nicki Minaj actually traced all the way back to Diddy.
Is it? Pup, why you rip a hole in the toe, son? Yo, son. Why you... Yo, son. Why you rip a... Oh, new in this, son?
Now, hold up. Let's not forget this part either. Nicki Minaj has also been dragged into rumors claiming she appeared on those so-called infamous tapes Diddy was allegedly keeping after some wild nights nobody can really verify. Listen to this. Those claims are unproven and heavily disputed, but they keep circulating online anyway. And it gets
off tape that just got sold on the dark net, which I know because I monitor, went for $500 million. It had multiple stars in it. Nicki Minaj, Rihanna, Chris Brown, Justin Bieber, Drake. It was a really interesting night.
Honey, listen to this. By now, we've all figured out those so-called Diddy parties were never just about champagne and vibes. It was way deeper than that. They weren't just gatherings. They were spaces where, allegedly, power moves, cameras, and control all played a role. And hold up. If you remember when Diddy was indicted, federal agents claimed they found over...
I was fucking this bad bitch, she fucking me good, and that shit almost drove me crazy. I pulled up to her crib, I was in that 19 Mercedes. I got this bad bitch from LA, she be fucking me so crazy. I'm sitting here, check my thoughts, and we getting this money, we wavy.
There's also been some online chatter about a questionable video involving Diddy and Meek Mill that people on the internet claim was something he wanted taken down or buried. But, hold up. If there's one thing we all know, it's that once something hits the internet, it never really disappears, and those rumors just keep circulating, no matter what.
Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, Daddy. You putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you. Yeah.
By the way, there were also claims floating online from a property manager who allegedly said some of Diddy's setups around private events looked suspicious, including requests for extra security measures like double-locked doors. And hold up, the same story says things would wrap around 3 a.m., but what was left behind was described in the most chaotic way possible, with cleanup crews allegedly walking into a disturbing scene of mess and leftover party materials scattered everywhere. But listen, none of this has been independently proven. It's all part of internet speculation that keeps getting recycled. Then, things get even messier when people bring up legal filings involving Lil Rod, where various allegations and name drops started circulating online. Some social media users tried connecting dots between different artists, including references to a Philadelphia rapper linked to Nicki Minaj, and even comparisons to other major entertainers. But again, this is all based on claims and interpretations, not confirmed facts. And hold up. What really fuels the conversation is how Meek Mill has publicly pushed back on a lot of these narratives, saying he doesn't believe or engage with the accusations being thrown around. Still, the internet keeps spinning theories, editing clips, and building stories that may or may not reflect reality. One thing's for sure, once a narrative hits that level online, it takes on a life of its own, and nobody controls it anymore.
Something going on.
He got locked up. Meek Mill came out saying that he'll pay somebody $100 grand to investigate that he has nothing to do with anything with Diddy.
You can't take back what.
And he's not the only one pushing that narrative, by the way. Listen to this. Jaguar Wright has also made public claims suggesting that Meek Mill was among artists she believed were being taken advantage of in Hollywood under the label of mentorship by older industry figures. And hold up, what makes this even more controversial in the conversation is that she was saying this long before the major allegations surrounding Diddy started dominating headlines. Still, it's important to separate what's been claimed online from what's actually been proven, because a lot of this exists in the space of speculation, interviews, and unverified narratives that keep getting reshared.
From them in their mentorship, Meek Mills, Bashir Gray, left that house screaming. August the only one that stayed, and I guess he was really sick. He needed a dog.
And by the way, speaking of Will Smith, Orlando Brown has also made some pretty wild public claims involving him over time. Now listen, this is where things get messy online, because a lot of what gets repeated about Will Smith in these spaces comes from rumors, clips taken out of context, and unverified commentary that spreads fast on social media. Some people tie him into broader Hollywood conspiracy-style narratives, but there's no solid evidence backing those kinds of accusations. And that's really the key point here. Once a big name gets pulled into internet discourse like this, everything starts getting exaggerated, remixed, and reposted until it feels bigger than what's actually confirmed.
Think that shit is cool. That was the first setup, bro. You me, then turned me into a kid. You feel me? Took my house, took all my, start my family members and all kinds of shit, bro. You a up person, man. You a up person. Yes, Will Smith is Michael Jackson, my nigga.
Listen to this. Orlando Brown has been speaking out loud and unapologetic about the things some rappers allegedly do behind closed doors, even bringing up the infections that reportedly go on there. And hold up, he stayed consistent with his claims when it comes to both Meek Mill and Diddy.
Wash, you gave me the ooshka smooth, the smooth smash. Diddy, yeah, son. I mean, you gave me the ooshka smooth. I love it, yo. I love it. You gave me the ooshka smooth.
Listen to this. Orlando Brown is back in the headlines again, and he's not easing up at all when it comes to the ongoing Diddy controversy. But hold up, things take an even more shocking turn as he starts pulling Nicki Minaj into the conversation, dropping heavy claims that Meek allegedly passed an infection to her during their relationship. During a No Jumper interview, he brought Nicki up while talking about alleged infections in the industry and didn't hold back with his words. He went on to make explicit accusations about her hygiene, claiming things got so tense between them that it nearly escalated to a life-threatening situation.
Greatest female rapper of all time.
Nicki's tired. Give your break. If you understood how much you're you would hate your back because you'd never be friends. Man, you can see it in her pores.
I look at her and I imagine a water-like vagina, if anything. She's got to have a good scent, fragrance.
She sounds like she always has a in her mouth.
When I was
me for it and was like
wait,
mad
what?
at me. Yeah, it was.
She almost you?
Yeah, dog. Like she almost put me through a lot of bullshit.
Nikki?
Yeah, bro. Her whole team bad. Like
why?
Very annoyed. Like very annoyed.
Nicki.
Yes, very annoyed.
Listen to this. He's out here loudly pushing these allegations from the rooftops, tying the Diddy party talk to almost everything and everyone in the industry. And hold up, it's definitely got people talking, split between thinking it's just his usual chaos or wondering if there's actually something deeper behind all the noise. Y'all remember, even Dr. Phil stepped in at one point trying to intervene. But when Orlando opened up about his struggles with addiction and mental health, people felt like he had really lost it after he said a few things that didn't fully make sense and even couldn't recall the names of his own kids.
A lot of kids, but I'll say I'll have 4 right now. That's exactly what I said. So me, as a father, still trying to jump back into that life and figure out who everybody is. You can't ridicule me for not knowing exactly.
I'm not ridiculing you.
All right, well, yeah, because I mean, of course, I'm gonna make a mistake if I haven't seen my kids. They were taken from me.
But how long has it been since you've seen these kids?
Bro, honestly, I see my kids everywhere. But at the end of the day, like I said, I barely see them. I don't know them. They don't know me.
Well, listen to this. Regardless of whether people labeled Orlando Brown as mentally unwell or not, others are starting to view his outbursts through a different lens, more like deep-rooted trauma instead of just random delusion. And hold up, if he really did experience the darker side of the entertainment industry, then what we're seeing now could potentially be a sign of complex PTSD playing out in real time. This could literally just be his way of finally speaking his truth after years of feeling silenced or suppressed. And maybe, just maybe, the chaotic and bizarre way he delivers things shouldn't automatically erase the possibility that he believes he witnessed certain things involving some of these industry figures. And who knows, when he brings up claims like Meek and Nicki, some people think he might be referencing something he genuinely believes he knows about. Remember, their breakup wasn't quiet at all. It had public disses, Twitter back and forths, and serious accusations that made it feel like there was more going on behind the scenes than just a normal split. And if even a small part of Orlando's claims were true, it could explain why Nicki Minaj and Meek Mill's tension seems so long-lasting and deeply rooted over the years. Honestly, it never fully added up how messy that breakup was, but these kinds of allegations do make people look at it a bit differently. Anyway, this could either be another moment of Orlando spiraling publicly, or maybe he's tapping into something people haven't fully understood yet. But I want to know what you think about all this speculation. Drop your thoughts in the comments below.